Yeah, this has got a little out of hand. But in my no, there's no defense. It's just pure laziness. So it's probably been well over a month since I last did any kind of maintenance on this tank at all. And obviously the plant growth shows that. Now don't get me wrong, it's all growing incredibly well. It's just completely like jam-packed full. And we've only got lots of nanofish in here. We've got keyhole cichlids as well, but they're still babies. So they don't actually mind it going in and out of the plants. But it's well overdue a trim up. And you're probably thinking, where do you even start with something like this? Well, I'm gonna start all on the top. First of all, this light's causing mayhem for the camera. And also I can't see into the tank at all. So top first. And also this bush here needs a full-on trim as well. So this plant here that's covering the surface is a type of hydrocotyle, loose, I'll put it up on screen. And the bush is a myriophyllum. And yeah, I tried to get rid of it all, but it just keeps coming back. Right, filming this is going to be a little bit difficult for a minute, just whilst I'm removing this plant. It's all so healthy, and it's just grown all the way from that back section. I'm just going to try and pick it out without breaking any of the stems, because I do want to replant those. Oh, there's so much here. It's got these massively long roots that go right down into the water. No doubt that's helping massively the water quality. Like I say, I don't do any water changes and haven't done for a very long time. Now, when things get this out of hand, it's literally just a case of going in and tearing stuff out initially. In a minute, we can be a little bit more precise with it. But for now, I just need to get a load of it out. Oh my goodness. All of this comes from just a couple of plants that I planted right at the start. Such a tangle. Well, I've been working for 1 minute and we've already got this much plants out. Right, it's now time to attack this myriophyllum. Literally just gonna pull it all up. It's technically a weed, let's be honest. It's not hard to grow in any way, shape or form. And it's kind of just taking over everything. Looks a bit ugly, and because it grows towards the light, like directly, it's blocking so much of it coming into the aquarium itself. Oh my goodness. The good thing is though, that even though this has been blocking out most of this light, I've got lots of windows in this room, which means the tank still gets sunlight throughout the day, especially at the moment in the summer. So the plants have still been growing really well. Oh, get out. Underneath, this bottom part here is just an absolute mishmash of roots, all entangled. There we go, now we're getting somewhere. Now it's currently 11 o'clock at night and I've decided to start doing this. And the reason being, we are hosting a big party this weekend. We've got a big marquee coming in the garden, 40 guests coming. And Kate was like, you cannot let anyone see this tank like this when they all know full well what I do for a living with YouTube and making tanks. I was like, yeah, you're right. And to be honest, I kept meaning to do this for literally over the past 2 to 3 weeks and, you know, never actually got round to it. So been on holiday quite a bit and lots of different videos being made. So yeah, now's the time. It's gonna look great very shortly. There we go, now we can start to see inside a little bit better. Well, it's looking a little bit murkier than it actually is. It's because there's a little bit of algae on the glass. Let's clean up that first and then I'll be able to see everything I'm doing moving forward, because we need to trim everything right down low to be able to replant it correctly again. There we go, look, miles better already. Obviously that's placed particles into the water, so it's now looking a little bit more misty, but we can get that sorted at the end. That's not something we need to worry about right now. What I need to do now is get hacking at all of these stems as low down as I can, take everything out, get them to the right sizes, and then replug them, which is a pretty darn big job actually. Oh my goodness, there was even more in there than I thought. Look, you can kind of see the stumps at the bottom where those little white sort of rooty bits are. And just from that small section, I have got all of these stems. That's way more than I thought was there. It's because they've had several trim ups, which means that these bottom sections here, I've only got like, I don't know, say 8 stems there, which means that there's 16 to even more exponential amounts that all come to the top. And I did initially start cutting with the scissors, but in actual fact, it's easy to come right down the base, grab the section and just break it between your fingers and then just drag out. It's going to mean that there aren't loads of horrible bits of leaves and stuff floating all in the water column. It's actually my favourite way of pruning tanks. Just grab a clump of it, just rip it. Just like that, look. There you go. Get it all in one, no mess. I have got a towel down as well because Kate would go mad if she knew that if she thought I didn't. Having said that, I am making quite a mess on the floor still. But you know, if I'm going to get this done tonight, I need to crack on. Oh, now we're really making some progress. That looks pretty cool, right? I'm in a predicament. Do I want to touch this moss? I just quite like the way it looks kind of natural and hilly in that section. It's really neat as well. This is Christmas moss, so look at the way it grows. Like, looks like Christmas trees, mini little Christmas trees. This one not so much, it's pressed up against the glass. Maybe I shift that back a little bit, but the overall look of it all, I think it looks fantastic. And I now have this many stems to go through, so I'm going to take them in the kitchen, I think, and just organise them all. It's going to take so long, but it'll be worth it. There we go, we've got a huge amount there, all trimmed shorter, regrouped, ready to replant. I mean, there's still so much going back in, but I just can't bring myself to throw any away. But at least they're going to be nice and short. And once they root in again, I will trim the tops off a lot more regularly, maybe. So we've got waste plants this side. Most of that's the Myriophyllum and a few of the scraps I've just trimmed off. And then this side, look, we've got all our organised plants. God, doesn't that look great? Now, I have got tweezers, but the way I'm going to plant them is literally just bringing them down right to the substrate, and I can push them into the sand with my fingers, close the gap again, because this big of a bunch with tweezers would be way too difficult. Look at that. Again, this is going to need trimming shortly, but for all the guests come in, it's going to look grown in and great straight away. And then what I can do now is take another bunch, which is roughly the same size, just break a bit off, and now I can put that just in front of it, and it should look a bit more sort of layered. How's that? Yeah, that's nice. That looks natural. So we've got it stepping upwards. Even shorter, I'll go at the front areas, and maybe some sort of longer ones in here. Let's try this big clump of longer ones. See if I can get down in there. Oh, it's tight down in there. No, it's way too long. I'm going to rip it again. This is kind of like plug and play aquascaping, isn't it? There we go. Found the soil. How's that looking? Yeah, perfect. Just a little sprout up. Looks nice and natural. Oh yeah, look at that. I am well pleased with that. I mean, compared to how it was looking when we started, it's a massive improvement, right? You're going to walk into the room, and I mean, it's going to be even clearer by tomorrow as well. I'm not doing a water change. There's absolutely no need. The water will clear itself. I'll probably clean out the filter though. Yeah, so equipment wise, for all of those, you know, wondering what I'm using. So yeah, we've got an Awaze Biomaster there. There's a CO2 thing on there, but I haven't used that after like month 1. It was basically growing way too fast, so just not bothered with it at all. There's a big old water butt there, that's full of water, and that's for the auto top off, which means that the water level stays perfect all the time. You don't get like scum marks. Now, the only section that is currently bothering me is this up here. Where we've pulled up all that Myriophyllum, it's just quite rooty, so I might stick in some of the hydrocotyl just in that patch. That should look pretty nice. Not too much. I don't want to be in the same situation again. It'll probably look quite white on camera, but in real life, it will look really nice. The camera struggles to go from like dark spots to highlighted spots. Always a bit of a battle with aquariums to get that right, but I do the best I can. That one looks pretty good, and then another one in there. Yeah, that's better. Here's how that looks when I sort of adjust it. And then if I put it on real life lighting, that's how I see the tank, you see. And it just reflects so much light because it's such a flat surface, but the whole tank looking miles better. And I wonder if I can just press this moss down a little bit, just so it's not pressing up against the glass so much. I might make it worse if I squish it though. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Oh, look at that. Hopefully everyone's gonna really like it. The fish are like freaked out. Like, look at all of this space. Oh, the Danios are schooling really, really well. Look at them. It's like they've gone into like a breeding mode. All the cardinals out. And the platies here. So these are the original ones, but it's quite hard to see now. Oh, look, there's some. Yeah, look, there's absolutely loads of babies dotted around. Quite a few of them are just hidden because we've disturbed everything. But the actual amount of life in the tank has gone up loads since we started. Oh, there's Henry's one. Those of you who watched the build video on this, Henry wanted this green neon rasbora. There was only one left. I was going to get him more, but then when I asked him, he said, no, I just like having the one. Still doing really well. All that's left really to do is go around and scoop up all these bits on the surface without catching the fish. Guys, come on. Come on, come out the way. It's making this harder for me. Not quite as bad as at the studio today, where I was trying to scoop out one of the tanks, and it's got a load of baby guppies, and they're all just sitting on the surface. I had to constantly keep going like this and letting them jump back out again. Oh, I've just spotted a load of baby mollies as well. Yeah, there we go, look. Baby yellow mollies. Obviously we've got the adults here. There are actually quite a few of them in the tank. They don't breed quite as easily as the platies do. I don't know why, but yeah, it's nice to see. Right, better carry on scooping up all the trimmings. Oh, I just caught a little molly. You jump back in? Yeah, he went back in. If you're ever in doubt, just dip your net back in. You can see him swimming, he's not there. So here we are the next morning, and I think the tank is looking absolutely gorgeous. And here's the thing, obviously yesterday, you look at the tank there and you think, oh, that's been massively let go. There's no sort of coming back from that. And part of me was thinking that might be the case as well. But I'm massively pleased to see in the morning there, after the stems have been plugged back in, growing towards the surface, the light, it just looks awesome again. In fact, it looks the best it's ever looked. I was tempted to trim some of the foreground plants, but I think I'll leave that till next time because I really like the nice vibrant green border that they're given at the moment. You know, that is one of the things that guests, when they come around, point out the most. Oh, I really like the green lawn, they call it. Obviously, they're not fish people or aquascapers, so they don't really know. Actually, one of the first things they always ask is this real? And I'm like, well, yeah, it is real. Do you mean like, are they live plants? Yeah, and then it's, you know, it starts the conversation of how the tank sort of looks after itself, and it's way less work than your traditional, what you'd think of as a fish tank. Because the funny thing is, most people still don't know that aquascaping is a thing. They don't know live planted tanks are a thing either. It's only really when someone goes to get a fish tank, they've already committed, and they go to the fish shops and see some really nice displays, that they realise, oh, you can have this awesome ecosystem in your living room that's actually way more beneficial than a bunch of plastic plants, you know, and clown gravel. Not to knock it, because there is a place for those things if they get people into the hobby and then they can find, you know, the planted tanks that look after themselves, then I'm all for it. It's very easy to become quite snobby in the world of aquascaping, but there's no need for it. And in fact, maybe there is a place for it. Maybe there's a place for the fake plants in an aquarium in my studio. You know, I think it'll be a good comparison. It's also quite challenging. One thing I have found though is that to get plastic plants to look really good, you have to spend a ton of money on them. And by that point, I'm thinking, well, I could get an amazing bunch of real plants. That's the only issue really. Also, I like the way a planted tank evolves over time. This tank looks completely different now to when, you know, I set it up first of all. And I didn't really picture it being how it is now. It just evolved in that way. Obviously I knew like roughly how it would be, but every tank is going to be different because there are two ways of doing this. One, you can completely sculpt it and make it exactly how you want it, or you can do what I tend to do, which is just sit back, enjoy the ride, and just end up with something beautiful, because at the end of the day, nature is beautiful and it doesn't usually require us to tame it or trim it, you know, it just looks great all the time.
So hopefully this has inspired you to, have a nice big planted tank back at home if you haven't got one, or if you're thinking about diving in and giving it a go. If you are, just follow the steps I've done and you can't really go wrong. Get enough plants in there, the tank starts to take care of itself. Minimal maintenance, a bit of glass scraping once a week or something like that. And then once a month, if you want to do a big water change, I don't, but there's nothing wrong with it if you do want to. You're not going to be sat there doing hours and hours of work each week, but you still will get something absolutely beautiful. And it's a fantastic talking point when people come in the house as well. Just as they walk through my hallway, it's the first thing that pops out and people are always intrigued. And that makes me feel good because at the end of the day, it's my passion, it's my hobby. And to get others excited about it, I think that's what it's all really about. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.